Good afternoon, uh, Andrea. Thank you for coming on to Radio Italia Uno Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
So you've got an enormous amount of responsibilities as a government minister, yes? So
Uh, I keep myself busy, yes.
so you cover the arts, small business, family business, consumer affairs, business affairs. Have I got them all?
That's it, yes, three of
That's
them.
it.
Yep,
Good.
that's
So,
it.
how? Why do you think the Premier thought he could bring them all together into uh, your bailiwick? Actually, we're going. This is not how I was going to start the interview, is it? But anyway, that's fine.
That's okay. Um, he knows I like to keep busy. He had consumer and business affairs. It was keeping my lawyer brain busy because I used to be a lawyer before this. I used to run a small business, so that was sort of very much natural for me. And then the arts kind of came out a bit out of the blue, but certainly have a couple of very creative kids, so that's been good from that perspective as well.
Excellent. Okay. Well, you've just talked about some of your personal story with talking about having worked as a lawyer. Let's go backwards into that then. Um, I I noticed in your background that you were not born in Australia, but you are, like so many others here, a migrant to this country. Tell us a bit about that, please.
Yeah, so my family are from Cyprus, the northern part of Cyprus, and we're part of becoming refugees in 1974 when Turkey invaded. So my parents and my two brothers fled to England. My dad had a couple of uncles that had already moved to England. Uh, Mum was pregnant with me during all of this. They landed in London and I was born. They couldn't get visas to stay in the UK, so their options were find somewhere else. And I think they were both traumatised enough to want to go as far away from Europe as they could. And they thought this little place called Adelaide sounded okay. So I was 11 months when we came out here. My brothers were 7 and 9. Um, their English was pretty poor. School was pretty hard, but we got through it, and all three of us ended up through university and as professionals. So I think mum and dad, they did okay in very difficult circumstances.
Yeah, yes, an amazing outcome in one generation. So a good level of upward social mobility, which probably is not easy to achieve in many other countries.
No, I think, Australia gave us huge opportunities. My parents, as most migrants, worked ridiculously hard. My dad was a cabinet maker, mum worked in factories, got us through school, and here we are.
Excellent. Okay, and you mentioned working as a lawyer and having run your business. I guess what running your own legal practice.
Yes, I started my own law firm in 2015. I was working at some of the larger commercial firms before that. Started my own firm, like I said, in 2015, NDA Law, and I loved running a business. It was um, obviously challenging. The staff are always, you spend a lot of time trying to support your staff when you're running a business. I had my business brain going with the numbers side. I was a tax and commercial lawyer, so that, kind of came a bit naturally, but you know, it was a good break away from the big commercial firms, and I love doing it. And my husband's running it now, so I'll go back to it when I leave this job.
Yes. Well, actually, I remember the invasion of Cyprus, 1974. I was living in Italy at the time, so it was big news and for a long time. And do you think we have a settlement there yet? Is it
No, we are
settled?
now. This weekend we're having the 51st anniversary of the invasion, so there'll be wreath laying ceremonies here in Adelaide at the Cyprus Community Centre, which I'll be part of. It's been a very long time and not a lot of progress has been made, and that's really disappointing for all of those people who lost their homes and families that were broken up. My uncles and aunties, none of them came to Australia. I had one grandfather that died before the first time I ever got to go back to Cyprus, so I never met him. So yeah, it's been a very long time, and I think the world needs to not forget what's going on in Cyprus, and that's easy to do given what's happening in other countries, and that's taking attention away from Cyprus.
Yes, and both countries that, yeah, are part of the European Union, so there's all sorts of international relations difficulties there. Okay,
Yeah.
now let's talk a bit more about your electorate and ministerial responsibilities. So I said you brought your legal brain and your business thinking into the business affairs and small business and family business portfolios. What what main objectives do you think you have in those areas?
For small and family business, um, to some extent, there's not a lot state government can do.
Mm.
But what we did when I came in was we did a lot of consultation with the small business community and formulated a policy, a small business strategy that was really based around providing programming for business owners to help develop their skills. I mean, I had 20 something years as a commercial lawyer advising business owners predominantly, and you could have the best plumber in the world, but if they couldn't manage their cash flow, their business was not going to go well. So I kind of took that knowledge, talked to the business community, and we formulated the small business strategy, which now has programs out there around fundamental business skills. You can get mentoring through our programs. You can improve your sustainability through our sustainability programs. There's a particular program that I really love, which is the Women in Business program, and
I was going to mention that, yes.
we've had about 3,500 female business owners go through that program. All in all, we're just about to hit our 2-year anniversary of that program rolling out for all small business, and we're about 11,000 businesses that have gone through it. So that kind of support, I think, is important. It's, not front page news, but it's there, and it's been taken up. And I know that it has been very much valued by small businesses around South Australia. We do regional programming, metro and CBD, obviously. There's a whole lot of online content now we've created on our business website. So certainly a lot of work's happened in the last couple of years to kind of reshape after, I think, for many years, small business wasn't really a focus of state government. So we've certainly shifted the dial on that.
Yes, you say it's not front page news, but if you can have even a small impact on the human capital across the board, it's very substantial at an aggregate level, that impact you can have. Now, I was going to mention the Women in Business program, but what are you doing there for women in business?
So being a female business owner in the past, obviously I know there's still challenges being a business owner as a woman. You're juggling kids. I'm now juggling kids and parents, typical sandwich generation. You're trying to market yourself in a way that's different from what men traditionally are able to market themselves. So access to capital, we still know, venture capital going to female-run businesses is something about 2% of all venture capital goes to female-owned businesses. So there's still work to do. We framed the program so it's got a couple of different parts of it. There's one part that's completely networking and trying to build those networks for female business owners. There's another one that's focusing on those foundational skills of business owners. So again, financial literacy, it might be marketing, it might be their digital presence. That's done through a program with Adelaide Business Hub, and they offer 6 hours of one-on-one mentoring, and then they do
Right.
workshops and things like that as well. And then there's one for female-owned businesses that are probably a little bit on the higher end, have grown a little bit, but still need that support, and that's being run by a group called Behind Closed Doors as well. So they've been out in the market for a bit over 2 years. Like I said, we've had about 3,500 women. We've had to bring forward money because they've been really quite popular, which is good. Good news.
Yes, okay, good to see. So now let's have a short break for some messages from our sponsors. Then we'll come back to speak to Andrea Michaels, Honourable Andrea Michaels, MP. The listeners can't see you, but you're in your car. We've had a few meetings with Zoe Bettison while she was driving from one appointment to another. That's because you have very busy schedules. And amongst the long list of portfolios or sub-portfolios that you have, we mentioned the arts, and there's a lot been going on. And by the way, we have this conversation also with Zoe every now and then. She's got the best job. Maybe you've got also the best job by having all these lovely arts events and programs to be involved with. Recently, we've talked with her and Andrew Kay about the Chihuli in the Botanical Gardens, and right now we're getting towards the end of the Illuminate Festival. But how does the state government get involved in these activities?
So those sorts of things don't happen without state government money, tourism money, there's arts money that go into them. But from our perspective, we see obviously massive return on that in terms of tourist numbers and the economic activity it drives. Cafes and restaurants nearby are always full around those times. And what we've got right now is the Winter Festival Illuminate, which there's a show tonight, Horizons, which I'll be going to, which is a drone show at Adelaide Oval. The Free City Lights is on at the moment down North Terrace and across to Festival Plaza. There's night visions at Botanic Gardens. So it's an opportunity to get people out. It's during school holidays predominantly. So you can drive down North Terrace at night and you can see it absolutely chockers of families doing free stuff. So it's fantastic for families, it's fantastic for getting people out in winter, and it's fantastic for getting support to our small businesses during what's traditionally a quiet time for us as well.
Yeah, so it's good to have these activities in the winter period, which was a fairly quiet in the programs in Adelaide. I'm going to Adelaide over this evening, actually, and to the Botanical Gardens on Sunday. We just managed to scrape in at the end
It's the last night on
of the
Sunday, so
yes,
get your tickets.
yes, and we can get them online. There's still tickets available, which is excellent, outstanding. And as you said, there's the freely available displays along North Terrace, and it's been very, very busy. When I've been driving down the last couple of days, as you said, there are a lot of people there and families in particular, which is nice. It's good to see, and it's also one way to expose young children to the arts, a different form of arts than maybe what I might have grown up with, the coming from Europe, or having European background, and the classical artists that we see there, we know there. So you are co-funding these activities, which is outstanding, and I guess you're already thinking or have already worked heavily on the next year's festivals, both the festival, the Fringe, and whatever is coming
Fringe
up.
and Festival is happening. We actually released a cultural policy, a new arts policy. It's a 10-year policy. It's called A Place to Create. We launched it at the end of March this year. And it's really focusing on what arts can do for our community. So we're focusing on trying to have opportunities for people to engage in arts all across the state, from young people through to elderly people as well. We know the mental health benefits that come from it, the community sense of community that comes from engaging in arts, going to watch a play, going to an exhibition. We see in some European countries, doctors actually prescribe, going to an art class or things like that because the research is showing how important it is for people's well-being. So we're hoping to do a lot more work in that space as well over the next coming period of time.
Oh, okay, that's very encouraging. I like that concept. Well, we're in July. With the state budget was just brought down maybe about 5 weeks ago now, 4 or 5 weeks ago. Anything you're particularly happy about in what
In the state budget,
Stephen Gallagher presented?
I got
I'm sure there's a
some.
battle every year.
There, there is a battle every year, but I can't criticise because I'm acting treasurer right at the moment while he's on holidays. Um, yeah, I got $13 million of new money for arts, which was
Cool.
fantastic. That went into what we're delivering for our cultural policy. I got some more money for small business programs. We're about to launch in the next week or so a new energy grants for small businesses. So
Ah,
grants of up to $75,000.
is
If
that to
anyone,
do with green or sustainable projects?
yes, so it's aimed at making sure making people reduce their power bills.
Okay.
It also obviously has the benefit of being more sustainable. So it can be batteries and solar panels. It can be cafes that need new fridges and freezers and things like that that are
Right.
more energy efficient. So if anyone's interested in that, business.sa.gov.au, and up to $75,000 available for businesses to co-invest with us to make their power prices and their power bills be a little bit more manageable.
Cool. Okay. So several interesting initiatives there, programs. And now or as we finish up, quickly tell us a bit about your electorate of Enfield.
Yeah, so
What
it's
are the big issues?
inner northeast is it's probably one of the most multicultural electorates we've got. Significant numbers of Hazara Afghanis and Indians. Used to be very much Greek. That's where we first lived when we came to Adelaide, was in Blair Athol, which is in my electorate. So different kinds of migrants have now moved in, Vietnamese. So it is a beautiful electorate, very close to the city. We have seen it change a lot in the last little while. People are now cottoning on to how close Blair Athol and Enfield are to the city, and it's becoming probably a little bit more cosmopolitan and popular to live there. But it is a beautiful electorate.
Yes. And what do you see as the major issues in the electorate? Or what do the people tell you are the major issues that interest them at a state level?
At a state level, it's certainly around the economy, education. There's lots of families that live in the electorate, so public education is really important, and we have got some great
Right.
schools in the electorate. And health, of course, is always, one or two, number one or number two on people's, I guess, wish list for state government to make improvements on, and we're certainly putting a lot of money into that as well.
Yes, that has been a big topic since before the last election. Okay. And I can imagine it continues to be one also at the federal level. Okay, well, I'm going to say thank you. I've got our next guest in a few minutes. It's Kerryn Little, so Shadow Minister for Indigenous Australians. Thank you, Andrea Michaels, MP, Minister for lots of things. And I didn't pick up that you're acting Treasurer at the moment. So very, very busy, but clearly you have the intellect and the work capacity to make it happen. Um, so thank you again for coming into Radio Italia una Adelaide, and have a good weekend. Enjoy the drones this evening. I will. I've been going every year
Right,
with
see
my
you there.
brother with the drones to watch the drones. It's been outstanding. And also every year with my brother to the botanical gardens. Yeah, so we're very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Antonio. Bye.